It would mean a lot to me to have my big brother at my wedding.
I wouldn't miss it.
Is it me, or did we just patch a tire?
On January 23rd, Mayim Bialik appeared as a guest on Nick Viall's podcast The Viall Files, where they discussed The Bachelor and its infamous Fantasy Suites week. Mayim, unfamiliar with the show, asked a spicy question about what would happen if someone got pregnant during the Fantasy Suite week. Nick, laughing, expressed that he and others had hoped for such a dramatic event for the sake of ratings. He also shared a surprising tidbit about rumors from his own season, where tabloids speculated that he might have gotten a contestant pregnant, much to the surprise of his wife, Natalie Joy. Mayim Bialik had a very spicy Bachelor Fantasy Suites question for Nick Viall. Nick hosts a podcast, The Viall Files, but his reality television street cred goes way beyond that, stretching back over a decade. While Mayim was conquering scripted television over on CBS, The Big Bang Theory ran from 2007 to 2019, Nick was racking up screen credits throughout Bachelor Nation. He first appeared on The Bachelorette in 2014 and 2015, and participated in Season 3 of Bachelor in Paradise. He subsequently landed his own season of The Bachelor, Season 21, and after that, Nick waltzed onto Dancing with the Stars as a contestant. Nowadays, Nick is kind of just ambient in the reality scene, but he's clearly a good source for information about how the sausage is made in the genre, and Mayim brought a steamy question to the Viall Files. On Thursday, January 23rd, Mayim was a guest on the Viall Files, with Grant Ellis' rapidly approaching season of The Bachelor a planned topic. But Mayim really didn't know a thing about The Bachelor, not even understanding the show's premise. Nick and the rest of the crew explained things like the rose ceremonies, hometown dates, and the oft-mentioned fantasy suites. Remember, all of this was news to Mayim, who hasn't seen a minute of The Bachelor in her life. Of the final 4 weeks, Nick emphasized one part that he felt was uniquely awkward for the titular Bachelor. The final 4 weeks, there's what's called Hometown Week, where the lead gets to meet their families, and then it's super weird. This is the worst, because then the Bachelor has to fake ask for the blessing of a bunch of people he has no intention of getting engaged to. Nick got to the 3rd week in the Fantasy Suites, and explained, the 3rd week is called Fantasy Suite Week, and you have an overnight off-camera crosstalk. Sometimes the sex, sometimes not the sex. Then, Mayim cut in with a question about a hypothetical scenario concerning a season's lead and Fantasy Suite week. What if somebody gets pregnant? Nick crossed both his fingers for luck, presumably because an unplanned Bachelor pregnancy would be great for podcast ratings, and interjected immediately, "We've been hoping for that to happen." However, Nick had another bit of information about Fantasy Suite pregnancy rumors, one that came as a surprise to his wife Natalie Joy. He's apparently familiar with the possibility, because Nick admitted that during his season of The Bachelor, there were some magazine covers. He recalled Star Magazine and In Touch as the outlets, claiming that he might have gotten one of his season's contestants pregnant.